Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Tech Frenzy. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't think there's a way to start the show better than talking about the great and powerful Nvidia stock. Look at this right here. $162.88 is what the stock closed out at today. If we just back up and see how high it actually got at one point, $164. This was a $4 trillion company today. $4 trillion. The first of its kind, a milestone that will be cemented in history forever, and essentially proved that Apple can be beaten. It can end up dropping off of hitting the milestones, not leading the pack. Another company can accelerate past it. There can be new giants, okay? Very exciting. So the first time we hit $1 trillion, which was an insane milestone. I remember this being all over the news. Apple, August 2nd, 2018. And they surpassed that again 2 years later. And then a little less than 2 years later, on January 3rd, Apple once again hit $3 trillion. So people thought that this was going to happen in less than 2 years once again. That wasn't quite the case. And in fact, we actually saw a little bit of a speed bump. And in fact, Apple is still just right around $3 trillion today. Nvidia, however, took quite the jump from 2018 to 2025. And in fact, we can kind of look at this here. If I go back and see, we could probably look at this from the actual date. But from about August 2nd, which is actually where I've pinned this to, or very close to, we're at $7.90, now up 2,500% since then. Nvidia goes to surpass Apple to be the first $4 trillion company. Congratulations to shareholders. Slurring a little bit. Congratulations to shareholders, and hopefully Nvidia is the first $5 trillion company. That's definitely the company that I'm betting on. If you guys know, obviously, we've done a lot of talking about SoFi and everything, but Nvidia is holds a true special place in my heart. It's by far the best company I've ever invested in terms of performance that I've seen so far. And I mean, I hope that SoFi and all my other companies that I hold surpass what Nvidia has done. But yeah. That's not the only milestone that we hit. We also hit quite the outstanding milestone for SoFi. SoFi ended up surpassing $20 a share, and in fact, ended up closing that for the first time in very many years. So let's see with SoFi. By the way, Nvidia up after hours, even all these tariff letters that are going up. SoFi not being as generous, down just slightly, still above $20.17 in the after hours. I should check overnights as well, actually. Let me close out of this and go to Webull really quickly, because they actually have the overnight pricing. Moomoo has been a little bit slow on that. Hopefully they can put it out soon. Okay, perfect. SoFi is at $20.10, 11 cents now in overnight markets. So Webull will show what it closed at, what we closed in after hours at, which would be like 8 o'clock, and then overnight is everything after that. So, all right. And where is Nvidia in after hours? Let us see. 163.20. Cool. But what do you guys think out of the two is going to outperform over the next, let's say year, for example? And speaking of outperforming, by the way, if you guys were a part of yesterday's stream, we said that we were going to create a portfolio of mine that you guys get to vote based on donations about what I'm going to buy. So that's all officially set up. You can actually see in the link in the description. If you guys ever want to view the portfolio, I'll be tracking it in live time. And in fact, there was also an addition today as well. So if you come to the future investing community portfolio that is in the description below. Oh, I got to change my thing. Boom. Okay. That feels more future investing Uh, in the community portfolio, which is just an experiment, where like donations are still that they're just donations. But if you end up donating, you can end up associating that with a stock, and we will track it in a um Steve, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll put another one in for SoFi. So let's show how this works. Okay. So Steve just bought, well, donated $20, and then I'm going to go buy $20 of SoFi. Anyway, um, you guys are essentially forcing my purchases. That's all that's the sort of way to think about it. So in here, we can track what all the different stocks are. In fact, we can also track by different members, and we can end up seeing who contributed what, the different times that they will be contributed in, all that sort of stuff. And then we'll sort of see how this works. So how does it look from your end? If at any point you guys want, you can go to the portfolio on Savvy Trader and see how the future investing community has built this portfolio here. So SoFi will hopefully, I mean, if I've done anything right in life, will be the largest position. Clove and ASTS, HIMS, QXO, Marvel, all names that I'm not quite used to for the most part, but hey, it's not my choice. And end up seeing if we're going to beat the market or not. Currently today, we're up 0.45%. It's actually underperforming the S&P 500, but I'm not going to judge you guys based on a single day. And SoFi will get added to just a little bit here. Okay. And this is just a tracker for the portfolio, by the way. I am actually, let's see here. I am putting it into my portfolio. I'll show this as well. So, boom. We've got the purchases. All right. So we'll keep tabs on that. I think it's a fun thing to do. But if you only donate if you have the funds to do so. If not, don't worry about it at all. It's just for fun. Thank you for putting me up on SoFi, Tanner. Thank you. This is legit genius content. Well, I thought so. I think it is. I get people donating from time to time, and it's just that's just the end of it. And then we can end up tracking and seeing how the portfolio does. So this will just be something that we look to sometimes as we get donations. We'll update it, whatever, and see how you guys do. All right. Next up, though, we have an old analyst from SoFi. This is quite interesting. If you guys have heard the name Timothy Switzer, it's probably not a whole lot of positive thoughts if you're very bullish on SoFi. If you're bearish, if you're on the sort of short side of SoFi, your ears perk up and you feel happy thoughts whenever you hear the name Timothy Switzer. But for me, this is quite the bullish man on SoFi, and yet he actually has reiterated his price target. Well, he's reiterated his position of a hard sell on SoFi. Before it was $9, and he's been $9 ever since. Ever since the most recent run up in SoFi, he's actually adjusted that price target based on a sum of all parts analysis. Indicates that the fair value should probably be closer to $13 per share. Okay, so he's not saying where the company is going to be trading over the next 12 months or something like this, because sometimes whenever a company runs so far, even the most bearish analysts will have to increase their price because, well, it's not going to have that fast of a drop that quickly. But if you're saying you're doing a sum of all parts analysis for fair value, that's actually what he believes the company is worth. So even the most bearish of people in SoFi's analyst community have just added another $4 per share onto their price targets, which honestly is very good. So we're always going to have our fair share of bears. You got the Gordon Johnsons and these sort of things of Tesla, the people that, want companies to fall 90%, 95%. So I don't think we get rid of all of them. But if they continue to raise their price targets higher than where we saw, SoFi just a little bit ago, that's quite the amazing outcome. I got into SoFi at 750 because of you. I give yourself some credit. You did that. I think that's an amazing average cost, and congratulations. Hopefully, you're up on your position quite a lot. Now, I mean, obviously you are if it's now sitting above 20, but depends on the conviction and how many shares you purchased, obviously. Okay. Thank you for Nvidia and SoFi. The community hold throughout April was my first ever bear market phase. It was a very quick one. That was not one that was too terrible. If you were going to hold through a period, it's not too bad to hold through like a 3-month or so period. But yeah, that's absolutely awesome to hear. Nvidia was a screaming buy. So I didn't make a lot of content on Nvidia before that because for the most part, there's a lot of people in the community like Dylan Patel or some of these guys like Semi-Analysis, right? That just cover the company so much better than almost anyone else in the world. And for me, I just felt, what could I add to the actual case for Nvidia that other people aren't already selling already? But as it was selling off and I started to see reports that were extremely negative, I just had to say something about, okay, guys, this is unbelievable. And then your guys' feedback on me talking about Nvidia was very positive, and you wanted more talk about a wider range of companies. So I think you guys actually brought me out of my shell, not just talking about fintech or SoFi exclusively, but also Google, Amazon, Nvidia, and the likes. So I appreciate that from you guys. Lump sum or DCA Nvidia? I think at this point it is a DCA. Okay, there can always be pullbacks, news that ends up changing market sentiment. Markets are quite bullish in the face of tariff news and these sort of things, but it doesn't mean that it can't go higher, right? So there will be people that lump sum, and that will be the thing that works out over time. But a DCA at these prices is more what I think is appropriate. Looking back, it doesn't matter how many shares I bought, it wasn't enough. That'll always be the case for any stock of yours that goes up. SoFi covered calls here. Yes, I think so. Above 20 is a good place to do covered calls, at least for my portfolio. But I would be very cautious with them. So maybe not try to get a little greedy, take all the premium that you can. I would extend out the strike price quite a bit. Tanner, what's up, bro? Buying any XRP? No, I can't say I am, but I haven't done enough due diligence into XRP. Steve would kill me if I told him that, though. Is that vampire blood? It's green. However, it's kind of like settling to the top or something. I don't know, but it's just a green powder. And Paul, also, that's a very good thing to say as well. You don't have to write covered calls on your entire position. Okay, so in a place where you still think that there could be a lot more to rise, especially for a name like SoFi that I think could get to $25 in quick succession if news continues to pile on in their favor. Higher evidence from a member of the Fed committee that says, hey, we're actually really thinking about cutting here in September or something along those lines, or they wouldn't say it in those types of words, but You get what I'm saying. A higher likelihood that we could see a cut, or that it's more appropriate for a cut here in the future. These types of comments would lead SoFi much higher in quick succession. So be careful, and potentially another way to balance that risk is to only use a portion of your total position. Is that AG1? No, but it is like a knockoff brand. I think it's called Superhuman. I don't remember the exact name. I got a bag of it. It's very similar though. It's the quite the same thing. Bought 55,000 shares at $7.40. That's a happy person right there. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but that's sitting pretty. Congratulations. This Elon politics thing has me a bit worried. I was investing in Tesla for a sale in 2032, and now it's got me worried. Yeah, I mean, it's got me worried too. I would love, like, for me, I want to hold Tesla in my portfolio. I think it's a sign that I am willing to pay a premium for the best products, for a team that I really do think is trying to focus on the future. I love so many aspects about Tesla. Okay. The politics part muddies the water. And I think that is a problem. I think a lot of shareholders think it's a problem. I think um, even the most bullish Tesla investors see it as a problem, but they just don't see it as a big enough problem to not hold and acquire more Tesla shares. But they still see it as a problem, you know? But yeah. You know what's funny? W. Porter here says super green, and he's talking about his portfolio, but I actually think that might be the name of this. It might not be called Superhuman. It might actually be called Super Green, something along those lines. But whenever he said it, I was like, oh, that's actually what I have. But I read now he's talking about his portfolio. But is there a good place or tutorial you recommend show how to sell a covered call? Never done anything like that before. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one too much. I think Amit has an options 101 thing. That's probably the only one that I can think of right now. But I'll have to put out something soon. Linda left X? No way. Is this news that I missed, or is this news that well, her I don't know how true this is. Her bio still says CEO of X. Okay, you're clowning me. I'm writing covered calls on Hood as well. Yeah, this afternoon. Oh, a bunch of people are saying it. I'm on her thing. It still says oh no, it literally says super official ex CEO of X. My bad. All right, all right, all right. Stepping down today. Oh, is it because of the people are saying it's because of the Grok thing? Wow. If that's true, that's crazy. Okay. Um okay, let's continue on. What Grok thing? I can't really say it on here, but or I don't think I can say it. It said it said that it was a bad character. Someone can put it in chat. I don't think I'm allowed to say it. Uh, it described itself as being quite the bad character. It's quite unfiltered. Yeah, it called itself a mecha Austrian artist, but in less less exciting terms. Um, Not being able to continue generating ad revenue for X. I mean, that sounds more reasonable to me. I just read a top post there that everyone was sharing, but that actually seems more like of an XAI problem. I would actually assume that it's more along the lines of ad revenue. That makes more sense to me. But I was just reading off of the top post on X there. Yeah. Okay, that's a bad way to say it. Okay, let's go back to the actual news stories and stuff like this that we can cover here. Um, Crossroads actually shared this. This is just a little bit of off the beaten path for the Nvidia and SoFi content that I want to get back to. I want to show you guys some charts actually on Nvidia later here as well. But look at this unbelievable chart that he ends up showing off. And in fact, there's actually probably a better way to do this. This is the NPS score or Net Promoter Score. It talks about the satisfaction and loyalty of customers and whether or not they'll be using Robinhood into the future and whether they're willing to tell their friends and share it along, depending on the age group. So green is obviously very favorable. The sort of gray or extremely white bar there in the center is neutral. And then the red or pink is closer to the, hey, I would never recommend this. I'd actually recommend people do not use this. What is so interesting is the 18 to 50 age range here that all has similar trends. And then 51 to 55, what is this polling? I can't imagine this is the average in some sort of way. That seems like extremely low numbers that they're probably surveying here. I don't understand this at all. But it's showing an extremely low satisfaction and even neutral, and a near 100% of people in this age range, this 4 to 5 year age range, where people absolutely despise Robinhood for some reason. And then the same can be said for 66 plus. What the heck is going on here? Now, another thing that I'm 51 and use Robinhood. Were you contacted for a survey? Because you could have helped this poll out. Unless that little bit of green was you. There's a little bit there. No, to be honest though, what this does show you, in my opinion, is that if you are talking about some sort of, greatest wealth transfer of all time, that we are moving out of a phase where there's a higher likelihood that you disagree or dislike Robinhood's products, and moving into a more favorable environment where money would be placed, 46 to 50 all the way to 18 to 25, where the people who do actually really like Robinhood will ask for those, money at Charles Schwab, Vanguard, whatever, to be moved over to Robinhood because they obviously enjoy those services. I think it's a very interesting statistic, but it does question the validity of the poll, knowing that there's just this weird couple of slots. And I mean, that could be said true, honestly, in the other direction as well. Potentially, the people that they polled in 56 and 60 and 61 and 65 were more bullish than what maybe they are across the entire age range of Robinhood. Maybe it really is showing quite a dissatisfaction in the later ages and showing better and better results the younger you go. Like everyone points to these two age ranges, but maybe it's the two in the center that are actually the inaccurate ones. Who knows? Who knows? Raymond May, I think Clove gets above $10 again. Raymond is the guy that is changing the whole outcome of the community portfolio. So if you go ahead and take a look, it's in the description, and we'll pull it up from time to time. But there's Clove and ASTS in there, and both were actually from Raymond. You can see that in the transaction list. We'll create a little ledger there so everyone knows who is picking what. So if Raymond is right and it goes to $10, we'll have to give him his flowers. I mean, he will be correct. Those older people probably used it whenever it first came out. It sucked. I hated it 7 to 8 years ago. Now it's good. This always happens, right? Is that people always judge something from many older versions from where it is today, and they stick very strong to that experience that they had with that product, and not give it enough credit to where it's been or like how many steps forward it's actually taken. Are we allowed to put icky dividend stocks in there? Absolutely. I mean, they are icky dividend stocks, but if you believe in them, that's your prerogative. Do I personally own ASTS? No, I do not. Weeble ran today. Yeah, it did move. Someone actually said, "Oh, I'm gonna punish you by putting bull in it or something like this." But no, it actually did well today. Thoughts on Toast? I don't have too many thoughts on Toast. I think that they are a very good company in the restaurant management space. Obviously, they're number one. The only thing that I have a problem with is that they're a little bit expensive, in my opinion. And that whenever I compare them to the likes of Shift4 is a very cheap company, growing at similar rates, doesn't have quite the margins, but also doesn't charge as much, right? Like this is a Toast is a very premium service compared to what Shift4 offers, and yet Shift4 is growing very fast, and the stock is very cheap. So I just prefer the mix of good product, good pricing, good valuation than what I would consider extreme product, like extremely good, bad pricing because you're paying for an extreme product, and then the pricing of the company is also bad. It's expensive. Um, Trying to wait for Weeble to run some more. You're trying to wait for it for what? Your own portfolio? Okay. Um, do you still have an account in Savvy Trader in order to track? Do you have to have an account in Savvy Trader in order to track our community portfolio? I'm actually not sure, Christine. It is a free service. So if you do need to sign up, I mean, if you have a Google account, you can just sign in with that, and it's absolutely free. I didn't put a subscription or anything that costs any money in order to track it. It's purely for fun, just for entertainment purposes, right? Like we're just going to see how it does, and yeah. Found you through a mitt. What's up, my guy? Sam, good to see you here. Um, Big fan of toast, especially with butter and cinnamon sugar. Yeah, it's not bad either. I'm buying UNH. I know Chris Patel's very interested in UNH, but I am very much an investor that likes to stick within his circle of competence. And whether or not the stock goes up or down, I wouldn't know for one reason why it would go up. Now, I could start to learn the entire sector of American healthcare and all the companies and competitors and the products that they sell, and the businesses that they operate with, and understand the supply chain, and like just get to know all of that. But truly, I would just prefer to add on to my circle of competence in tech and financial technology, right? To me, there's still so much to gain there. Those companies are growing like gangbusters. And like there's still a lot more to be made in artificial intelligence and digitizing old products that usually are not digital. So I have no reason to look elsewhere other than where we are today. Meaning the things that I'm investing in. Payush with Alibaba being added to the fund. Okay, I'll be sure to add that. And Steve also added SoFi. So we're getting a little bit of different exposure. So the rules have been set, by the way. They have to be at least $1 billion companies, no leveraged ETFs, no pink sheet OTC businesses, like nothing crazy like this. Can't be penny stocks. They have to be at least $1. We can actually look through that really quick. Let me just go to this. You guys tell me if you guys like the rules, and then we can change it if anything is a little too crazy. But Baba is a good one to talk on. The reason why I brought this up is because it actually is. It'll be important. Watch. I'll show you here. Okay. So if you go on to the futureinvesting.pro/portfolio or anything, you can see this here. This will be like our little hub. We'll continue to build on it and everything. You can see the game rules. Understand, this is not a fund or anything like this. It's just purely a community experiment. Okay. But right here is where you can go to Savvy Trader to see it in real time and how it performs. Right now, it just looks like a bar that shows our investments. But as it actually ages and we get to see like what it's done over the week and what it's done over a month and a year, and then it'll actually start to look great with charts and everything like this. But in the game rules, really quick, let's see here. They don't have to be US companies, but they have to be on major US exchanges. Okay, so New Works, GrabWorks, Alibaba works, right? Chinese company, major Chinese company, but it is listed in the US, so that's perfectly fine. Minimum $1 billion market cap, no leveraged inverse ETFs, nothing crazy like this, no crypto assets, no options. Minimum donation, just $10, just because we had so many $5 orders the other day. It just took me forever to make every individual order. Remember, I still have to go in, punch it into Savvy Trade, go on my phone, order the thing, and then also put it into this thing here. So then everyone has it, and you'll be able to see the receipts and who is putting in what or whatever. So you'll be able to see that. Okay. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And then if you don't end up picking something that is within those requirements, I'll ask you again. If not, we're just going to pick VOO, which is just the S&P 500. That way it still goes towards tracking it, but doesn't end up affecting the results too bad. If you guys want to change that, I'm happy to hear suggestions, but that's the only one that I really didn't have a clear answer to. Such a cool idea. Thank you. I think so as well. Oscar thoughts? Literally none at all. Obviously, I know that this is a very popular position, but like I said, I'm going to stick within my circle of competence. Am I invested in Hood? Yes. Yes, I am. I've been invested in Hood for a little bit now. Not as early as you can be. I was it's funny, like whenever I got invested into Hood, one share of Joby. By the way, guys, it can be completely fractional share businesses. So that's another thing that I should probably make more aware, is that it doesn't have to be the price. Like this is $11.56 to buy a share of Joby, and I will. But if you just wanted to donate $10 or whatever, I will just buy whatever that makes up of Joby. So we'll do fractional shares for everything. Thank you, though, Kevin. I will add Joby. Finally, I am a shareholder of Joby officially. That's going to go over well with Roy and Tevis. They're going to make fun of me for sure. Tanner, have I researched Databrick and potential IPOs? Not to some extreme extent, other than them being one of the largest private businesses in the world. Nvidia as default instead of VOO. I think that's a little bit. Wow, Christine, holy, thank you, appreciate that. Lumen, wow. Is that the same? That's a LiDAR tech, right? Or no? Is this not LiDAR tech? What is Lumen? Oh, okay, got you. How do I donate on the YouTube app? I actually don't. I don't know. I think it's right near the chat thing. There might be a button or something. Don't feel pressured in order to donate. But yeah, got a little bit of loot. Like I'll be holding on to companies that I've never held on to or even looked at in my life. And you know how I know that like this is actually affecting the. Like I've already added it into my watch list. A lot of companies that have been added, and I'm like, oh, this is not even in my, watch list on my stock tracker. And now I have to add in like, what was the other one the other day? Like ASTS wasn't even on there. QXO, Grab. I don't even think I was following that. Chegg. Wow. Okay. Little energy play. Got you. And Fiserv, guys. Thank you. I do appreciate these names. We'll end up adding them. So I put them in for order overnight, and then they end up closing. So I found out my brokerage has actually gotten a little bit better. They don't just close fractional shares. I thought it was at 3 p.m. They close it immediately. I found that out as I was ordering it, that the orders were being filled immediately. So these will probably end up. It didn't work whenever I did it after hours, so it'll probably close at 9:30 right in the morning. So that'll be the order price. $9.90. No. That's fine. That's fine. There was even some where like I forget what it was. It was like a $10 order or something, but the company was actually like $12.50 or whatever. I just bought one share because it was just easier for me. So if it's close, I'll just make it a full share. If it's not and you're buying $20 of service now, I'm not going to pay $1,000. But yeah. Matt Money in the house. Tanner Daddy. Hey, Matt, you'll be happy to know I am a shareholder. Oh, actually, I don't think you are a part of the. Are you a fan of ASTS, or you're more on the? What's the other one? I'm gonna get killed for this. What is it called? I could name Peter Beck. What's this freaking? What's the name of this? Rocket Lab. There you go. Yeah, if you donate $10 for Burke A, Rexy Roller, by the way, was the first order of this entire thing. So Rexy, we're tracking QXO. We'll see. All right, we'll I'm gonna get to know a lot of you guys as well. Cloudflare for my boy Roy. Understood. Thank you again. Undead Creed. Has anyone clicked the link, by the way? Are you guys able to get on to the website and actually see it? I don't know if I'm able to see if people are getting on or not. I don't know. I'll have to check. NCLH. Wow. That's another one I need to add to my list. I remember following Norwegian Cruise Lines whenever I was in CCL, but I have not been a holder of it at all. Where's the link? It's in the description. It should be. Where it says track the community portfolio, and we'll end up seeing, or you should be able to see the link. It should just lead you to a Notion page that you can see everything on there. I'm running weekly covered calls on my Berk A shares. How about you? that is the greatest flex of all time. That is, I'm sure there's like, is there even option contracts for Berk A? There must not be, right? Obviously, I know that there are people that can afford to do that. But to like run one covered call strategy, what do you need? Wait, how much is it? 700,000 right now? You need what, $70 million? Dark Lorder. SBET. This is a ETH treasury now, right? Is that the one that I'm thinking of? I think it's in ETH treasury. What's good about QXO? I don't know. Ask Rexy Roller. Quintessie. Good to see you. Good to see you. Do you have any Googs yet? Not in the portfolio. But in my own portfolio, I have a lot. Yeah. But not in this other portfolio of mine. Let's see here. Casey, 100% I agree with this. 1,000%. I understand that. I've got to learn a lot about, like, I should really get into some sort of speech therapy or something like this. I'm aware for what I do for a living now, my ability to speak the English language and do ums and uhs and likes in between my sentences is terrible. But you guys keep showing up, so I do appreciate it. Carl S. Carl has actually been, he's got quite a few companies under his belt now. So we'll be able to go in. This is also what's cool about Notion. This is a company, by the way, if Notion ever goes public, I'm buying it. I don't care what the price is. This is my favorite company on earth. Okay. I do everything on Notion. Anyway, Carl here has Nvidia and UNH and now Google. So we'll be able to see not only all these companies and what it does for the community, but also how each individual person has done, see what companies have been added and have worked and everything. So that'll be very cool. So Carl, thank you. Do appreciate the donation. Billy, read the rules. No crypto, absolutely no crypto. So Billy, I'll let you pick another name. I will let you pick another name. Okay. I also need to bring this up. Let's talk a little bit in between. I want to bring up Nvidia. Hold on a sec. Fiscal AI. I always call it FinChat, but it is not called that anymore. Okay, what did... please give me a second. No problem, Billy. You're here often. I'll remember. Replace VOO with QQQ. Ladies and gentlemen, do we all agree? I agree with this. I second QQQ. Most people here are tech investors. Yep. QQQ is the NASDAQ 100. It is sector-wise, it is more heavily favored towards tech. Yes, QQQ. QQQ is better choice. QQQ, no doubt. QQ, literally not one person. Shake my head says something different. Nah, TQQQ. No leverage. VGT is better than QQQ. Go with Soundhound. Wow. Okay. We've got our first Soundhound. We want William Sonoma. No, we don't. Guys, we need to show other communities that like you guys are representing me here, okay? We're not just trying to, let's take Tanner's money and burn it into the ground. This is about let's try to actually beat the markets. I don't want to buy a coffee machine. Thoughts on new? Very positive on new. The Brazil tariffs, I don't think affect them at all. They do all their business within Brazil. Yeah, they'll be perfectly fine. I think the news might affect the stock because anything Brazil, people think about a handful of companies, but really, whenever you boil it down, it's not going to mean a thing for their overall business. Okay, let's quickly turn over to Nvidia. So, if we look here, this is just fiscal AI. So this is a company that I use to do some tracking every now and then. And what we will do, see, the problem is the camera's blocking off my view, but we'll drag this out a little bit further. And we can end up seeing Wall Street's expectations for... can I drop chat off the screen really quick? I apologize, guys. It's just an easier view this way. And I'll even make it a little bit larger there. Okay, so you can see Wall Street's expectations, and in fact, I'll also add on year-over-year growth rates. And this is 2026, full year 2026, or sorry, fiscal year is what I meant to say. 53.1% year-over-year expected change. The year after that, 25.6%, and then the year after that, 16.4% right now. Okay, leading to a fiscal year, which is actually full year 2027, but it's 1 month off. As you can see, it says January, not December. It's 1 month adjusted. That they're going to do 292 billion with the B, okay, revenue in that single year. This is unbelievable, completely unheard of. And yet, Nvidia, if I go to highlight, this is what I'm trying to highlight here for you guys, is why I'm continuing to hold and, be positive on Nvidia going to $5 trillion, even though it's at $4 trillion today. I do think we get above $200 a share and the bull train continues to push forward, is that the expected amount of capital expenditures for data center investment is expected to get over $1 trillion on an annual basis. Annual. Okay. So Nvidia right now, yes, people are getting a little excited on the stock price. Yes, I've got covered calls for $170. Hopefully, we get near it, but don't don't pass it by July 17th. But that there is so much expected growth. Now, I let's not get distracted here. What's the likelihood that they end up beating this 230 or $292 billion of EPS? Well, let's go to Earnings Hub really quick. Here we go. If we take a look at Nvidia, 16 of the last 17 quarters in revenue have beaten expectations. Even last quarter, they expected 43. We got 44. This is with China not in the picture. 38, 39 expected. 38 expected, 39 delivered. It's been constant beats over time. Okay. Now, the beats have shrunk a little bit in terms of the actual percentage of the surprise, but still, and you can see this here, right? Like the times where we were seeing revenue surprises at 20%, 12%, these are whenever the stock actually started to skyrocket. Okay. Now that it's tightened up, we're like at about 2%. Things are getting a little bit more predictable, but beating on EPS, beating on revenue. What is the likelihood that Wall Street is accurately predicting into the future where Nvidia is going to be? I don't believe that at all. Okay. I think that the amount of data center build out is going to be so much faster than what any of us are anticipating, even myself. Okay. To put it into words, Andy Jassy thinks that every single consumer is going to have robots. If consumers are going to have robots, what do you think the businesses have? What do you think Andy Jassy is filling with his own factories to make sure that they have employees that are working 24/7 and don't get paid a salary? I'm talking about robots, okay? Those robots work through LLMs. The robots learn and adjust. Not only is there chips on board that run or that are NVIDIA chips that report back to a data center to say, hey, you know what, I ran into these situations. I've learned all this, blah, blah, blah. Add it to the long list of robotic learnings that end up going into NVIDIA powered simulations. So then not only are you getting the amount of miles and work done in real time, but you're also doing 10x, 100x, 1000x that in simulated problem solving as well. So there will be fleets of robots at Amazon. Okay. Amazon then goes to try to sell all those to their competitors. Actually, there was some news between Amazon and Nvidia today. Amazon said that they had, what was it? Was it a heating solution? Nvidia and Amazon. What was the? Amazon says that AWS has built a new hardware to cool next-gen NVIDIA AI GPUs. Yeah, so they're not going anywhere. It's not like they're full betting on Trainium 2 and Trainium 3 chips. No, they know that NVIDIA is going to be playing a large role at AWS, and so they continue to double down on ways to make that more efficient in their own data centers. So Amazon already uses robots. Yeah, not only Quinn Tessie already knows this, but it's not just a couple of robots. They have over a million robots now working today. But I think humanoid robots will be a massive unlock as those become more widely available. And it's not just them. It's going to be every single player. It's going to be every logistics company, the Walmarts, the Amazons, the delivery companies, the Mercado Libres and the Copangs and all of them. right? This will be massive. And there is not very many players aside from Nvidia and AMD and a few ASICs and TPUs from Google that offer this infrastructure for the entire world. It's a very exciting time. You have Mark Zuckerberg coming out and offering massive, like massive signing bonuses, massive comps to large OpenAI, their employees and the hardworking talent that has brought OpenAI voice to market, has brought Sora Sora to market. What's the image one called? Well, now I think it's just called OpenAI Image, but it used to be called Dolly. But now no one really says that anymore. But if he believes that super intelligence is coming so much and that the market that's being created is so massive that he's willing to pay engineers 5x, 10x, 15x what his largest executives are being paid just to make sure that they have the talent their opposition does not. Think about the market that he's anticipating is coming and the build out that is going to require. You think we're anywhere near that? And then there's total cost of ownership. So once you have your Hopper GPUs and you have an entire data center built on, H100s, and then they come out with a new chip that is 30x, 50x more efficient, it actually probably will save you a lot of money to get rid of that entire data center and run one that is 1/30th, 1/50th the size. A much smaller, couple of towers that Nvidia has made with Blackwell technology. And once you have the GB200s, the Grace Blackwell 200s, what do you do whenever the Grace Blackwell 300s are now starting to come out at full production? And they have even better TCO. You upgrade because the difference in the two models is so different that you have to upgrade because it's going to save you money to buy twice. Are you interested in investing in corporate debt? No, I don't think so. I'm sure there. I do have a little bit of this random bot. Do I have no mods in here? Tis nobody a mod. Okay. There. Sorry, guys. Let me mod Matt Money while he's here. Okay. Quintessi, do you also mod on Amit's chat? I think you do, right? What's a mod? A moderator in the chat that just kicks out the bots. If Matt's the mod, we get to blow up this chat about VG. Interesting. Yeah, Billy, where were you, brother? 185 seem Nvidia to 185 by October. 185 seems aggressive. I actually I don't know if it is. Like, I mean, well, I don't know. It is July, but we will continue to climb till the end of the year. I'm a big believer in that. I think this could very easily be a $200 stock all day long. Like, next earnings that we get will be before October. That I think will prove some pretty amazing continuous build out. It's a happy time for Nvidia shareholders. Black Swan event probably looming. Is that how we should think about Black Swan events? Is that they have to be in like a specific period, like they have some sort of persistence, that we're like overdue for a Black Swan event? Okay. What am I buying more of? So I recently made a video about the 7 stocks that I'm buying right now. It's Nubank, Nvidia, Shark Ninja, Google, Amazon, the Trade Desk, and SoFi. Those 7. And I'm really not looking past those 7 right now. And it's pretty close to in that order. Well, not in the order that I said it, but in the order of the video. I didn't put it in order, but looking back on it, I'm like, you know what? That's not terribly wrong. But I really do like Nubank right now. That's for sure. Tanner, I'll fly you out. Why? Where are we going? I'm with Tom Lee. The bull run reset on Liberation Day. Good for a couple years, unless the Amazon bits declare war. What was the order again? You'll have to watch the video, Kelly. That'll be my my way of getting my piece as well. You need to dabble back into Tesla. I think there's definitely a day where I get back into Tesla. But I don't know if it's today. The America Party thing actually scares me, and I don't mean that by like, is it a good or bad thing for America? I mean, I do think that there should be more talk about the overall debt. I think that that's an important piece. Okay, I think Elon sees that. And what's the date of the last video? I don't know. It's just the last posted video, probably 2 days ago. But yeah, the America Party thing for Tesla has just scared me, because now the propaganda that he's dealt with before on that had caused these large riots, and just the amount of bad press that he ended up getting for what I actually think is a good mission. I really do think that Elon is trying to better society, and not all of you have to agree with me on that. I understand there's a lot of people who don't agree, but you know, I do like trying to make the best products, and open sourcing your work, and trying to do better for the environment, and bringing in so much solar energy. Like I'm very much in favor of a lot of what Elon is trying to do. But the America Party makes me think that he is going to get hate from both sides. And that in the middle, I don't think that there's a lot of customers. They tried the third-party system before. Remember Ross Perot? He lied about video games. He can't be trusted. Well, I mean, if he did lie about the video games thing, he's still doing it because I think he just said he got back to the top of Diablo. So he definitely is sticking with that lie, if it is. I didn't really look into the evidence beyond him actually lying about it. But yeah, it does seem improbable. I remember something about a tournament or something that he was in or whatever, and he didn't know which direction he was going. And for someone that should have played as many games as he did, it would be nearly impossible to not know essentially the map. But I don't know. These are small things versus the actual problems that he's solving in real life. You know, whenever right at the bottom was all powder. I just went right down the wrong hole. Yeah, sorry, give me a sec. All right, feeling better. Take your time. Come to Miami. Miami's in August, though, right? You guys don't say went went down the wrong hole? Those A1 grains got you. Yeah. That's funny. Wrong pipe. Okay. Yeah, I could probably save myself some problems. I know Amit's already Amit's already fighting the allegations. I gotta yeah, wrong pipe, sorry. Can't beat the allegation. Dude, the allegations has to be the funniest thing I've ever seen on anyone's YouTube channel. Like, Amit will say just the craziest stuff that everyone goes, oh, you can't, the allegations. The allegations are not leaving him. Yeah, I just modded Quinn. Now she's off her rocker. What are you doing? Amit said scarce weird today. He says everything weird every day. He pronounced Baghdad as Baghad. Said Alfredo Funici? I don't know. That adds to the style of Amit, though. That's what makes him him. And we love him for it. My whole life, I always said Iran. I now say Iran, but I think a lot of people say Iran. Fucuni. Fudacuni. Amit didn't know you could eat lamb. Look, I mean, dude, this is what I mean. Like, how's that even possible? Like, if you've never gone to a Mediterranean restaurant, wow, I almost just did it. I think it might be a stream curse. So, I would say Qatar. A lot of people would say Qatar, but I'm whiter than that, so I'm going to say Qatar. But I think it is actually pronounced Qatar. The white way sounds more. Never caught me neither. Is that a reference to The Office? Every single time I'm coughing, it tastes like green powder. My bad. Thought we talked about stocks here. Okay, sorry. We'll bring it back. Every day, Ricardo Libre. Dude, I'm choking. This is not. Ever since I drank this green powder, I've been dying. I thought it got better, but it didn't. Ricardo Libre asked me every day thoughts on Mercado Libre. Mercado Libre is one of my favorite Latin American stocks. They're the Amazon. They're the Amazon of Argentina and into Brazil and Mexico and all these places. But what is really interesting is that you might actually see them get sold off here because of the Brazilian tariffs and a lot of the tariffs that are in countries that Mercado Libre is in. What we should realize is that hope your hole gets better. Do you say that like whenever yeah, I don't think people say that. Should we call an ambulance? I've always heard that if you hear someone coughing, then you know they're not choking. I know that sounds odd, but it's actually whenever you stop hearing things, that's when the emergency should start to commence. Dude, get some water. I'm drinking 42 ounces of water. I got powder in my lungs. It'll come out. Are you afraid you might be too sector dependent in investing? I've never actually felt this. Tech is eating the world. I think there's been a lot of ways to invest before technology for the most part. And whenever I say technology, I mean the internet-based technology softwares. The compounded annual growth rate of internet businesses and software is just higher than any other sector in the world. So why not double down on that? Diversify not just in tech. Honestly, no. So this is an interesting thing about me. One of the largest positions that I hold is Airbnb. And Airbnb was a way for me to diversify, not away from technology, but into another sector utilizing technology. And that's sort of how I can diversify from in different ways, is that I'll bet on the disruptor in a technology space that potentially has not been disrupted before. So whenever I think of fintechs, I do actually think of financials, but they're being disrupted by technology. Okay, so we have all the like tailwinds and customer satisfaction and everything that comes with tech, but in other sectors that I also believe in. But I'll never not pick the technology as the differentiator for the diversification, including things like Shark Ninja. The diversifier is in the design process and how they are bringing in such modern solutions to old products, and like I really do love innovation and technology. Talk about Amazon Prime Day sales, good or bad. AE1, you already know. So they're referring to bad sales data for Amazon Prime Day, but Amazon Prime this time is 4 days long. So it's a little bit skewed. You're comparing it to periods where the purchase time has been really, really tight. This time, by the third day, how is it going to compare to the third days of the other Prime days? I mean, they didn't exist. So it's going to look great. Too much green juice. Yeah, way too much green juice. It was literally the last sip. I got through most of it perfectly fine. Yes, but you're comparing a 4-day shop spree versus a 2-day shop spree. So people don't feel the scarcity or urgency to purchase on day one nearly as much as they did the last time. It'll take some time. By the way, I did my spending. I bought some Ninja products. So there you go. What is your investment thesis for Shark Ninja? They sell the best products. It's simple as that. I buy everything that they sell, and whenever I go to need something new in life, I check to see if Shark or Ninja offer those products first. I think that that's an extreme advantage for them. Builds a lot of customer loyalty. My whole kitchen looks like it's built out of Ninja products now. And if they continue to grow at the compounded annual growth rate that they've been growing at, which has been accelerating over time, that's worth everything, you know? And the total addressable market is so untapped. They have so many geographies to expand into. They have so many different subcategories of products and new categories of products to get into. I like Dyson better. I like Dyson better as well for product quality, but it's a marginal difference in my opinion. Okay, so I've got a few Dyson products as well. But the thing that really sold me on Shark Ninja, I bought my girlfriend a Dyson Air Wrap, I think is what it's called. You should see the box that I have it in. I could go get it. It's just right outside I have like a closet on the other side of this door. And it's in there. And the reason why it's in there and not in the bathroom is because my girlfriend uses a Shark Flex tool that is 1/5 the cost. I mean, I think it was like $150 for the Flex tool, and the Dyson Airwrap in Canadian dollars was like something like $900 that I spent, and she doesn't even use it. Okay, it's unbelievable. My boy got that creamy. I do have the Ninja Creamy. The Ninja Creamy. The reason is not a big ice cream. Well, I love ice cream, but it's bad for you. Vitamix, same thing. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. The Dyson on its own is better than the Ninja. I agree. Or the Shark products. I agree. The Vitamix versus the Ninja blender. I agree. It is better. Okay. A Vitamix will liquefy wood. It is incredible. However, the cost difference is not the same. So the audience that you're attracting with a Vitamix and a Dyson is a small total addressable market. Okay. To get 100% performance or like to get the Dyson and the Vitamix level performance, you're paying top dollar. What Ninja is trying to do is how can we get 95% of that quality for 20% of the cost? That's the sweet spot. That's where I think you get the massive total addressable market. I didn't get a Ninja slushie. I don't need a Ninja slushie, but the Ninja Creamy, which is their ice cream maker, makes protein ice cream. You can get like there are some people I haven't made any that are too extreme, but you can get like 80 grams of protein in a single pint, extremely low calorie. It's just unbelievable. But I've made like some 50 gram protein ice cream. You put essentially half like protein milk and then a little bit of half unsweetened almond milk and stuff. And then whey protein and everything to add on. There's all sorts of ways to flavor it and everything, but it's pretty freaking healthy as far as ice cream goes. And the protein intake is insane. But can I use my phone to turn it off? No. Yes, Tanner Invest is 100% true. Ninja is shift 4, while Vitamix is toast. 100%. But that's why I'm a shift 4 investor and I'm a Shark Ninja investor. So I do like that larger total addressable market that attracts a more medium to high end. Like, what's another way? Like I would so much prefer. I don't know what other appliance would actually fit into this, but I'm sure Frigidaire, let's say, or Samsung, even though that's probably not in the right realm that I'm trying to make up here, but I'm sure they sell a lot more appliances than like Wolf, for example, which is like really, really high end, better performance, but you're actually attracting a pretty small niche of like high net worth individuals. I think that medium to high, or also like middle to medium high, is actually the best market to attract. Those are customers with disposable income, but Vitamix is the Beyonce of blenders. Yeah. But, and this is investing talk, by the way. Okay. What I'm trying to say is Shark Ninja is growing like gangbusters. They have unbelievable relationships with distributors like Costco and many others. You should see the amount of distributors that they are entering. Last quarter, they said they had, I think it was what, 3x the number of meetings to join new distributors than they did year over year. So there's a lot of very, very exciting things for Shark Ninja into the future. Whirlpool, sure. Whirlpool versus, but Whirlpool I heard was falling off a little bit, but it would be a Whirlpool versus Wolf type situation. I have so many Shark vacuums, it's mad. Yeah, that's the only product I don't have of theirs that's probably their most popular. Because I bought a Dyson before I knew about Shark and Ninja. And the Dyson's awesome. I've got zero problems with it. But I also spent a lot on it, you know? Razer versus Sennheiser. I think I think I have a pair of Sennheisers right here. Yeah. They're not really all that special. Obviously they can be. Like they go up, but I also don't agree with companies that have product lines that go to like a different pricing range between 200 and like 5,000. I kind of hate that business model because then I find it actually pushes away some customers. What customers want is to go to your product page and buy the best thing that you offer. They want you to know that you've kind of, or at least this is the way that I see it. Obviously, there's smarter project managers than me that run Sennheiser, but I hate going to a store and knowing that I'm buying the middle option or something like that. I always like buying the best, but if the best is a price difference of 20x, I hate that feeling. Um, Gotta pay a premium. Yeah, but then just sell the premium item. You know, don't sell the $200 ones. Be the company that sells the $5,000 headphones, the $2,000 headphones. That's fine. And then if you want to sell a lower one, literally rebrand it. Like do Ford cars and Lamborghinis. Don't do Ford or whatever, and then like some souped up Ford or something. Like I don't know. It's probably not the greatest example, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. Let's quickly. Tanner invest with the Shark Ninja. Hold on. I got to add that in. Thank you, Tanner. I don't know if your name is also Tanner. I assume it is. Or if this is like some sort of tribute account. No, I know your name is Tanner. Okay, so Shark Ninja it is. I have a lot of companies to buy, guys. Holy crap. SoFi, Baba, Joby, Lumen Technologies, a little bit of energy, Fiserv, Cloudflare, Norwegian Cruise Lines, SBET, which I think is that ETH Treasury, right? Sharplink Gaming. Okay, it's been added to the watch list now. In a decent order of it as well. Holy. I'll have to buy whatever 28 Canadian is. Google, XRP, but it's not XRP. They actually picked SoundHound because there's no crypto. And Shark Ninja, ladies and gentlemen. Holy crap. It's a tribute account. Well, I don't know. Like Tanner's not a common name. I never really see anyone else with Tanner. How many monitors am I? Four. Well, and 5 if you count the iPad that I also have, but 4 on the computer. SoundHound was a good call. Quintessi, you always have different picks than what I'm used to. Quantum Names, SoundHound. You'll see me around. For holy, that better be powered by Nvidia. It is, yeah. it is. I can show you guys kind of what it looks like. I can't really turn around my camera because it's this is going to be the stupidest way to do this. But essentially, whenever you see me looking up here, I have my stocks. My this right now is the community portfolio thing, right? And then you guys, the chat, camera in the center, and then all my audio and everything to make sure nothing's crashing. And then, yeah, iPad over there, stuff like this, but I don't want to show you my desk. Hood is my number 3. And I'm in Shopify and SoFi. I know that you're like, yes, I'm big into both of those names. Ladies and gentlemen, Shopify is nothing to scoff at either. I mean, their long-term future is so unbelievably exciting. It really is so fun following the tech companies of the future. I mean, these companies are going to run everything. You know, I'm so excited to see where Shopify goes, the different areas that they get into, the problems that they solve for entrepreneurs into the future. It's one of the largest positions that I hold in my entire portfolio. We don't cover it often, but I look forward to holding Shopify in my portfolio for decades and decades. The company that's keeping Canada alive, for real. Yeah. No, I agree. Canadian bias, yeah, but I mean, come on. For every 46 merchants or is it 49 merchants? 46 merchants? I'll say 46 to be conservative. For every 46 merchants that end up joining Shopify, they lose 1. Okay. The market share gain that they have is insane. And I actually think it might actually be 49-1, but it's somewhere in that 3-point range there. D-Wave is Canadian. I'm not quite sold on quantum just yet, but I've got Google or maybe Nvidia for QPUs in the future. Honestly, Sam, I completely agree. Lulu is a very interesting play. Now, this is not going to help me with my allegations either, but the clothing that I've been purchasing the most lately for myself is Lululemon. Normally, they're known for their female clothing, but they have a male line. And guys, I'm telling you, you will never buy a better pair of pants or shirt than, it's truly differentiated. The shirts just don't shrink in the, I don't know. It's just like, they don't wrinkle at all. I don't know how they do it. They don't shrink. They fit me perfect. I look freaking massive in the shirts that they sell. It's just better. It's just better. I'm not getting past the allegations. And I don't mean the tights. They sell like dress pants. They're called ABC pants or something like this. But they look like a khaki, or not a khaki, like a chino or whatever they're called. Like sort of dressy, but also you could wear them just with like a t-shirt. But they feel like sweatpants. Like they feel, no one else makes this level of clothing, I'm telling you. I read on a subreddit quality is going lower. I mean, if it was ever higher than this, they should have been making male clothing for a long time. And they last. Yeah, and I have a sweater too that I absolutely love. And you know what I also like? I hate, but this is funny because I have a stupid logo from this free shirt that I'm wearing from a streaming service that I'm not using. But I hate logos. Most of the time that you guys see me, the shirts that I wear are completely blank. The Lulu stuff is not trying to plaster, Nike or Adidas or something like this on the front. They usually have, especially for male clothing, no logo at all. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Dude, they're so much better than jeans. I know. Fangirling over Lulu, not a good look. Wes, you need to man up and go get yourself a pair, okay? That's what true men do. They wear Lululemon because they know that comfort is key. Asana, lots of insider buying, needs a deeper look. If I'm not mistaken, that's Dustin Moskovitz company. Am I correct? He's been buying. They've been doing insider purchases for years and years and years, if I'm not mistaken, and the company hasn't moved too much. Dustin Moskovitz, if I'm saying that correct. Dustin Moskovitz. Oh, wow. I'm going to lose it now. He was the co-founder of Facebook. Yeah, he is Asana. He's been buying for years. Yeah, okay. So I was the insider purchasing is an old story. I think that's why the market doesn't really care about the insider purchases, because he's just been doing that for as long as they've been around. Sometimes shirt quality can be more hit or miss. All right, well, I'll believe you, but the ones that I have are. I'm 6'5", 350. It would have to be an XXL. That's funny. XXL Ulu. Yeah, Wes is he's a football player that's looking to invest his signing bonuses. Honestly, I think that they might have something there in that lawsuit. I mean, well, it depends. If it's branded very clearly that it is some sort of Kirkland signature branded clothing, obviously. But part of the lawsuit, if I'm correct, was also in terms of mistaking people who are seeing their clothing for Lululemons. I think that is true. Now, I don't know how far they're going to get with suing Costco. But yeah. How do you copy yoga pants? Yeah, I don't know how you don't copy yoga pants to some degree. A lot of it has to do with the stitching and stuff like this. This is what my girlfriend told me whenever I was getting really interested in like potentially buying Lulu stock, and then she kind of talked me away from it because of stitching. I don't get it, but like where the seams are, girls really care about. It changes the look, and there's like a front sew that Lulu does, where other companies have sort of avoided that, and girls are preferring a different look. But like literally, we're getting down to stitching here. Like how crazy can you be? But if you ask for quite the premium, and there's a bunch of competitors now who are selling a similar product for 1/3 the cost. I mean, maybe that's the Shark Ninja of the Lulu products, right? Selling a 90% of the way product there, like for 1/5 the cost. Anything to bring down that Costco PE? Costco PE is going nowhere. I don't see the bull case for Costco. Obviously, I see an extremely sticky moat, and I'm a customer. I've got their credit card and everything, so I'm deeply embedded into the ecosystem. But it's so expensive. Strategic stitching. The mitt wears Lulu for the sea, please. Oh gosh. I wear socks with holes, so I totally get it. I mean, we all got a couple pairs of socks with holes in them. You have to keep a little bit of humility. Come on. Um. Okay. Let's see. Prefer Sam's. I think. I think you mean Sam's Club, but I don't even think we have that in Canada. So I've never even seen one. Okay. All right. Is there any other? I'll disagree on Sam's Club. Okay. Is there any other topics that we need to discuss? Let's go through uh, the notes really quick. And guys, make sure if you're not on Savvy Trader, okay, here, because I think you guys can actually follow this and you can end up getting updated. I don't know how that all works, but I'm pretty sure you can end up following this portfolio. This is completely driven by your guys' decisions on what we're going to end up buying here. And that also is what's going to set the portfolio value here is just the donation. So this is going to be the community portfolio. It's still my portfolio, or it'll be a second portfolio. My actual portfolio is for the course members or whatever. But and the cash here is just to allocate. It's not the actual cash that I put into it. But we'll judge this over time. But you guys can follow this in the description. You can go to futureinvesting.pro/portfolio. It'll bring you to the community hub page, which will take you to the Savvy Trader. You can follow it. And we'll have to see. I mean, today we're adding a bunch of new positions. Shark Ninja, Soundhound, Cloudflare, Fiserv, Lumen. So we'll have to see how it ends up building out. And then after about a year or so, we'll rebalance into QQQs and then do it all over again. But I don't think we're going to take any money out. We're just going to build it up, see where it gets to. Superman is in theaters tomorrow. That's literally the first time I've heard of that. So I don't know how exciting the release is going to be. Tanner's money, our degen decisions, correct. Yeah, it's purely just for fun. I want to prove to the other creators, though, that my audience is smarter than them. If we can beat the markets, that's a pretty unique situation. So people say that retail is dumb. I think that we can do it. Yeah. gives you a chance to explore other companies, though. I know I actually feel dumb because like I follow my niche pretty well and I know the companies that are in them. And then once people start recommending companies and saying like, oh, here, buy this company, I'm like, I don't know if I've heard that. So I will absolutely be following those companies more closely. I'll have an actual stake in those businesses to follow them. So yeah. They will be purchased in the morning. So if like let's say there are fractional shares. Oh, I've never turned the chat back on. Well, I think you guys can see it anyway. Name the portfolio Dumber Money. Yeah. Tanner, are you selling covered calls on new? No, I think that it's undervalued right now. I'm not too good with covered calls as it is, so I wouldn't want to play that right now. I think that the price for new banks should probably be more closer to about $18 to $20, especially if there is a sign of a weaker dollar. I think that gives new bank an even stronger advantage, and Q2 is going to be quite a weaker dollar versus what we saw in Q1. So like obviously, Matt, I don't need to show you this, but I'll just show this to other people, for example. And you can look at this two different ways. Probably the easiest way is looking at the DXY, or the US dollar index. The more accurate way is going directly to the US dollar versus the Brazilian reals. Okay. But if we take a look here really quick and we see this chart, what you can end up seeing is that in Q1, which ends right about here, okay, look how much stronger the dollar was during this time, even peaking at about 109.96, to then having quite the drop off, which actually is better for foreign revenue. Weak US dollar, strong foreign revenue, strong US dollar, weak foreign revenue. Matt knows that 100%. But yeah. Payush now adds $10 of American Eagle Outfitters, AEO. I think I have a few of their shirts, maybe, but never any other stock until tomorrow. Thank you, Payush. I appreciate that. Why, though? Is this just because of the Lulu thing, or are you actually bullish on it? Quinn Tesla puts in D-Wave. You really had to do that, eh? Thank you. I do appreciate it. But, geez, now I own even more Quantum. This community fund is going to be built up of all the things that like a bunch of people have been like telling me to get into. And then I've said no for, the last 2 years. And now they're going to just be like, all right, well, now you have to own it. And whenever people ask if you own it, then you have to say yes. AEO is at $10. Its peak is at 25. It's due for a run. I don't know anything past the two things that you've just said. Oh, dude. $20 from well, actually a little bit different than that, but here, let's see what that actually is. Pounds here. 27 US dollars to IonQ. Thank you, B-Tech. B-Tech is putting up quite the list here himself. Different names, owning all the crypto names. But just going back to American Eagle Outfitters. I don't know anything about the business other than it being the clothing line. I don't know how they're actually doing or anything along those lines. But the fact that they're $10 to 25, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to return back. And they have a 50-cent dividend. That's pretty strong. That's pretty freaking strong for the size of the company. But yeah. AEO. Okay. That's in the watch list now. And I think I have IonQ in the watch list as well. Never mind. It's in it there now. I think I actually yeah, I think I actually went in and removed some of the quantum names because I wasn't looking at them as often. They were kind of just like bogging up my list. I actually like it at this price. All right. Well, remember, we're not just trying to make me hold on to companies that I don't want to hold on to. I'm not anti-quantum. I just know nothing about it right now. Or D-Wave, but it's hopefully trying to outperform the markets. All right. Pretty late stream we got going on here. Yeah, I know. It's actually been a lot of Q&A recently, and I've just been enjoying that a lot. Like streams that have gone a little bit later, but I don't know. Hopefully you guys enjoy that too. If you want more of the actual just news-based stuff, not get your questions in, stuff like this, maybe we'll do very, very tight videos as well throughout the day that sum up some of the news that's coming in. But then we can also have this time to sort of get your questions out, field some questions. Maybe we can have a section where we also put some questions in here today. I could try to answer them for tomorrow if I don't know the answer. I don't know. Tanner, what's your top buy right now? It probably is Nubank. It's probably Nubank. It's probably, or another one right now is Google. Amazon is another big one that I'm very excited about right now. Andy Jazz is getting me so excited on the future of AI and robotics. So, yeah. AJJ, this is not an eligible company. The market cap is 550 million. The minimum market cap is 1 billion. Can you pick another company? Thank you for your donation. Really do appreciate the support. Big Bear AI, Big Bear AI finally playing with house money. That is the best position to be in a company, is whenever you can just remove what you initially put into it, and you know that everything that you make going forward, whether you win or lose a little bit, is not even your money to play with. It's completely free. It's got to be the most rewarding thing that can happen in investing. Okay, did AJJ say anything? AJJ, if you don't answer, it's going to go into QQQ. So let me know if you're thinking of something. Or maybe this wasn't even the stock that you wanted and you just said, grrr. Gorilla Technology Group. Buffett is not still in new. He sold it all off, which is why it also had some hardship going forward. Give me a minute. Okay. We could use the trade desk. I do hold it in my own portfolio. I love how Carl actually sees like Carl's the actual person here that's trying to build like a portfolio. You know? Everyone else just wants me to hold on to penny stocks, or not penny stocks, but like just like their favorite small cap or mid cap companies, and just say, oh, you know what, I have a streamer, and they hold on to that company. Carl, I do too. Um, he's dreaming big future on that portfolio. Yeah. No, I hope that the portfolio grows into something that is truly something cool. More SBET, Tanner, to newer. Couple of LiDAR plays. LiDAR tech might be interesting. I mean, it depends on how bullish you are with Tesla, I guess, and their strategy versus um, the other players. What are your thoughts on Axon? I actually think that Axon Technologies is a company that I would be very happy to have in my portfolio. Um, but I haven't looked at their individual uh, not products, because I know that they're a market leader, but like just how big that total addressable market is, the markets that they've actually entered versus not entered very strongly, the software side of the business that I know that they have, but I haven't taken too deep of a look into it. But that's always been a name that I've been very curious on. I love the companies that have just dominated over time. All right. All right. More SBET. That's a deal. Neo thoughts? I used to have Neo, dumped it a while ago. Chinese equities could be hard for me to invest in, especially as relations with the U.S. get worse, and then you start to hear things like they're going to pull and delist Chinese equities. I just think there's so many risks whenever there's other companies here directly in America that are working and are doing great. You know. That being said, like the whole battery swap technology and everything was very interesting. Instead of showing up to a gas station and taking long, or even showing up to a charging station taking even longer, a battery swap could be almost instantaneous. Um, Now, I don't know how it's gone with if those batteries come back damaged and like how that all happens, because of course it would be very different, especially if you go to a place, you get what you think is a very charged battery, but maybe there's something wrong with it that might lead the charge to not be as full, or not work as efficiently as what you'd be used to. But obviously they have created some pretty interesting tech. It's just maybe not worth it for me to bet on. Tanner, you watch Love Island? I have to admit, I watch a little bit of Love Island. My girlfriend makes me. Yeah. I'm keen to get into Axon, but finding an in is tricky. Yeah, I think that is a fair statement. But sometimes with expensive companies like this that are market leaders, is that you just sort of have to bite the bullet. You know, was Palantir at 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 hard buys? Yeah, they were. Were all of them worth it? Yes, they were. So That's sort of the problem. Does Canada have Love Island? Yeah. We have your Love Island, the American one or the UK ones. We share television, you know. You guys actually want to know like one of my favorite TV shows is Taskmaster. I've been watching a lot of Taskmaster again recently, and oh my gosh, I love that show. The people who know. The people who don't, got to get on some more of that like British humor, but Taskmaster is where it's at. I mean, out of the 360 people here, someone must know it. I love Taskmaster. There we go. I knew someone, like, it's pretty big overall. Channel 4. Yeah, dude. Channel 4 puts out the best stuff. Like, if I told some people that the shows that I watch from like a lot of like that UK area, like 8 out of 10 cats does countdown or something like this, you guys would think it's just absolutely crazy, but it's brilliant television. I know a lot of people are not going to agree. The name is absolutely ridiculous, but it's a joke on Countdown. But yeah, it's hosted by Jimmy Carr. He's a very famous comedian. Jimmy Carr is my favorite. Does y'all have electricity up there? There you go. The Americans don't get it. Dude, I love Channel 4 stuff. I really do. I always watch the quiz of the year with Jimmy Carr every year. The quiz of the naughties. It's a good one. What does your girlfriend think about SoFi? She doesn't have any clue. Andrew's trying to make us lose respect for him. Watch Taskmaster. It's honestly amazing. But it's got a little bit of that like British like crumpet humor. It's a little bit dry. Like I love that sort of humor, you know. I enjoy it. A little bit of sarcasm. I wouldn't say I'm too much into international movies, stuff like this. I mean, I would say most of my favorite movies are all like. What's funny about my favorite movies? They're all like usually the classically most famous movies of all time. Like you guys think of really, really popular movies, those are probably among some of my favorites. Like Talladega Nights. Oh my god. Yeah, like Talladega Nights. In what list of the most highly acclaimed movies of all time does Talladega Nights show up? I like the movie, but that's so funny. Canadian admit with awful. I don't have awful cinema takes at all. I like No Country for Old Men, Pulp Fiction, I like almost anything that Quentin Tarantino puts out. Honestly, one of my favorite movies of all time is 12 Angry Men. I love that movie. I just recently saw it. That's why it's on the top of my head. But I actually think I've got a pretty normal interest in movies. I don't think I have a bad taste in movies. Also, recently just watched. You think of a really popular movies, Amit has no clue. I know. I always reference something like from Star Wars or I don't know, something like this. He has no clue. He never does. Guy Ritchie makes a lot of great films too. If I remember correctly, Guy Ritchie also makes Gentleman, which I think was one of the later ones. I love that movie as well. Is that Guy Ritchie? I think it is. I think he makes all the um The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Wow. Little CSU. That's a classic, eh? It's actually not popping up here. Yeah. That's an interview you won't be able to find. Little Constellation Software. That's the Berkshire Hathaway that nobody knows about. Talladega Nights is huge for current generation. I'd say most people would put that in their top 10. That's interesting. Okay. Anything else that we've got here? Or else we can wrap it. This has been a long stream. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate your time. But until next time, bye for now.